First of all, proper introduction. Television's Deuce Mason and Morgan Reagan are with us here on the show. Of course, host of the Night Chat, the Deuce Mo podcast. I came up with like 10 ideas. So we've just established that our respective sound banks, I just put stuff in the sound bank to try to pop Kenny. And I thought of like 10 different things that I can easily work into a show that I'm going to throw in the sound bank, and out of nowhere, I'm going to get him. He's going to laugh for like 10 minutes.
Nah, the Michael Cole, oh my God, that's the one that gets me. That one tickles the hell out of me. I love that one.
And wrestling drops always work too.
Oh, 100%.
Then I get a kick out of my own new favorite.
Y'all be weak in the knees. Stand up.
Wait, this is from TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Because Kenny finally got on TikTok. He's looking around TikTok now.
Oh, no. I don't know how to work that thing.
That is it. So I had told everyone I downloaded TikTok and was trying to learn it. You're looking at the individual or listening to the individual who was responsible for that. Deuce is and Mo are putting together some great videos. Mostly and I'm like, those shorts you're doing are awesome. He's like, yeah, TikTok, it's got a lot of editing tools. And I'm like, yeah, I just don't know that app yet. And so I downloaded it. I swear to God, I haven't figured anything out yet. Yeah. Like nothing, like literally nothing.
I will say this, Aaron, maybe we can have like a little side session. A lot of the editing does happen in Adobe Premiere for me.
Where a lot of the younger crowd can edit like that in TikTok. No, they can. They can't. There's a lot of TikTokers that know how to utilize their phone to the fullest and don't even need programs like Adobe Premiere.
I just want to take the video and post it.
I just want to tap my phone and I got a fresh outfit on.
You guys, we sound so old.
I don't. I know what I'm doing. Kenny cracks me up though, posting his Sacktown splash, and then last night posting all of his Invisalign packets, which made me laugh so much because congrats, you finished Invisalign. I finished mine a couple of weeks back, but Kenny had literally all of his packets. I'm like, you're supposed to throw those out along the way.
No, the told me to keep them, and the YouTube videos told me to keep them too. So I just kept them.
You just keep the one that you just took out. You don't need to keep all of them. They're not going to fit.
I agree. I thought it was weird too, but the dentist told me to keep them, and the YouTube videos I watched before told me to keep them. So
the smile's looking good, Kenny.
Thank you very much.
If you had to crown a champion. Now, the Deuce and Mo champion. This doesn't necessarily mean it's an NBA champion. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the NBA MVP. It means this is the guy right now. This is the Roman Reigns of the National Basketball Association.
Acknowledge.
Who would the Deuce and Mo champion be in the NBA?
Oh man, Roman Reigns.
That's right.
That's a big one.
Is that like an MVP award?
Well, I mean, you could take it wherever you want.
Is that a team?
It's not a team. It's an individual.
Okay.
It's an individual. They might not wind up the MVP, but they are that guy right now.
I'll give you Giannis. It's Giannis. Yeah. He's not my MVP, but it's Giannis. He's got everything. He's the Roman Reigns. He has the personality. He has the ability on the floor. He's defending champion. It's Giannis.
I have no problem with that. I think at the same time too, will it be someone like Jokic and then Joel Embiid actually takes the award?
Well, look here, guys. Number one, the belt can change hands at any time.
That's right.
You don't have to wait for the end of the season. It can change hands at any time. Last year, I think when we debuted the belt, like the TBS belt or the TNT belt, when we debuted it, I think KD had the belt.
That's right.
And they had a showdown in the second round of the Eastern Conference Finals. And Giannis took the belt, took the strap off of KD, and he's had the belt.
He hasn't lost it yet.
You know who's trying to go after the belt too right now, but is not going to get it, is Jason Tatum.
That's my girl right there. So the way we established it, my scenario is it's Giannis versus Jokic, and Jason Tatum's got the Money in the Bank briefcase, and you better watch out.
Ooh.
But you know what they also try to do? See, you got to watch these guys, the Jessies, the Damians, because they just tried to put Giannis in a matchup with DeMar DeRozan in a Chicago-style street fight.
I didn't.
Back around, and there was no acknowledgement of it.
Wait. So is LeBron John Cena?
Yeah, LeBron's he's flirting with Hollywood Hogan status. he's there. That's good stuff. All right. I don't think we got anywhere, but that's fine. I'll take it. That's fun. Tyreke Evans worked out with the Golden State Warriors.
Good for him.
I'm trying to. I was looking for a little bit more on that. Yeah, he worked out for the Golden State Warriors. Is that?
Man,
is
you
that
see some of his
intriguing?
Instagram video. He's ripped.
Yeah.
I mean, he
looks
is
in phenomenal shape.
This is the second team he's worked out with, though, right? So I forget was it Milwaukee last week he worked out with, and now with the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
How old is he? 32?
Yeah, I don't know why in my head I always think he's way older, but he's not that old.
Mm-mm.
But he's been out for a minute.
Yeah.
2 years.
2 years. A lot of time to reflect and build your body, I guess. But again,
a lot of time to stay healthy too.
Yeah. The game, it changes. Especially the NBA, it just evolves year by year, the pace, everything, the physicality. And so,
where does he play?
I don't know, because you and we see a lot of G League guys, and right now Quinn Cook is on the Stockton Kings, an NBA champ with the Golden State Warriors, actually contributed to that squad. And it's so interesting when you see guys that were in the NBA and then trying to get back into the NBA and where they are now. Now, I have no idea how Tyreke Evans would play, but I would love to see him in the G League, not only for my own selfish.
That'd be fun, but he's more than a G League player. I just try to look at a fit. I think
say that you say that
he might have to go to the G League for a
right. Like you say that, but then he might need to just do what like an Isaiah Thomas did and like dominate in the G League and show like, no, I'm a 10-day guy. I'm just put me on your bench. Let's go.
Be interesting to see if he still has some legs. De'Aaron Fox has some legs. I want to ask you two here. What's the difference between De'Aaron Fox right now and De'Aaron Fox at the start of the season?
I mean, I just think that trade rejuvenated him. And I don't know, like we can sit here and speculate like what was going on with him. I'm sure part of it was he's looking around at the roster going, this is it. Like this is my 5th year. And I keep being told, hey, we're going to make trades. We're going to get better. We're going to get better. And then he gets off to a slow start. You got some weird pieces on the team. It just wasn't going the right direction. And then they make a trade. And this is not like he and Halliburton are close, apparently, from what I understand. They're pretty close. So it wasn't like they were like butting heads or they didn't like vibe together. But I get, and I'm not trying to excuse Fox for what happened the first part of the season. He wasn't playing well for the most part, and it didn't seem like he was totally engaged. This trade rejuvenated him. And I think last night I was really eager to see how he's going to play without Sabonis in the lineup. He played well.
I think he also, now this is something I am just observing. I feel like he doesn't have that pressure on him as much as like, hey, you're here to be the number one guy, be the number one guy. He doesn't have to be the number one guy right now. With Sabonis out, it was like he just organically took over as that guy, where before the pressure was on him to be that guy. And I think that takes off a little bit of that pressure even mentally for him, where he's playing more free, a little bit more relaxed, and a little bit more like a team basketball player in the sense of moving without the ball and understanding the movements of other guys and not just putting his head down and going downhill and being like, this is what coach wants, understanding that there's so much more to the game. I just feel like he's seeing that right now and being aggressive with it.
This whole conversation reminds me of the hug after their first game.
Yeah.
Never saw him embrace anybody like that. But I agree with you guys. We had a conversation earlier in the show where Damian asked me if De'Aaron would have played like this from the start of the season, do you think the season is any different? Like right now, they're 20 games under 500. I said yes. And I one of the reasons I said that is because this team was fragile before emotionally, and they were still soft. But if De'Aaron plays a little better, I think they start off a little better. I got to like a record of like 9-4. And maybe that group kind of looks at it like, okay, maybe I'm not crazy about being here, but we got a chance to win. Like, let's it rejuvenates him. I think it would have been different. Some people, don't think so, and I understand that side as well. But what you guys think about if Fox would have played this way from the start of the season?
I mean, I think it's they started 5-4 with him not playing well, right? Like it looked like, okay, like he's going through it, but once he gets it going, it'll look better. Yeah, he needs to find a way to come out at the gate next year and be completely locked and ready to go. I mean, I'm not saying he needs to be perfect by any means, but the way he's playing right now, it's legit. It's legit. Now, this team has plenty of flaws. They're still not winning enough games. But honestly, I do see more moments of competent basketball from the team.
100%.
Now, they still need more shooting. They still need a legit four. The shooting guard problems, like defensively, I know it's been bad at times, but there's also been more good stretches. Like even in that third quarter last time, I'm like, what the hell? Like that was fun,
So the question was kind of, would this team, be better if De'Aaron had played like this whole season? I think that this team, yes, in the sense of on the floor, would have looked more like this and kind of grown off of that. But at the same time, I don't think the win-loss column would have been that much better, because you're even seeing right now, even with this play, that it's not translating into a whole bunch of wins. And so many people want to put that on De'Aaron, want to put that on Sabonis, or, whoever they want to put that on right now. And really, you got to put that on how this team is poorly constructed with this roster and not having enough shooters. I mean, sure, you wanted to bring someone in like Holiday who can shoot the three, but then has been streaky, and he's been streaky before. And then Dante DiVincenzo had only played 17 games before that trade and coming off of a huge injury, and not that same player that he was on that championship Milwaukee Bucks team. So I think there's just so much more that needs to happen when it comes to the construction of the roster than some people even realize.
Well, I also think it's been a tough schedule. They've had really tough games after this. And that's when we looked at it. People were talking about the play-in, and I know it was in reach at some point, but like the schedule was brutal. And you're asking for a team that just added 6 new players to just click immediately when they get like no practice time. That's just tough to do. That's just really tough to do.
And just one more thing going off that. You can click immediately after a trade if you already have a culture in place, if you already have an all-star established on your squad and an identity. None of that has been there for the Sacramento Kings. So yeah, of course, being asked to be like, all right, figure things out, it's just not going to work that way.
You're listening to D-Lo and Casey on ESPN 1320 KIFM West Sacramento, KRXQ HD2 Sacramento and Odyssey Station, and driven by Lashers Elk Grove Dodge. Deuce and Mo with us here on the show. Deuce, you brought this up, that third quarter yesterday, the way that the defense played, that we're seeing better stretches of defense. Like yesterday was particularly glaring. Normally when they're staying in games against teams as good as Denver, it's because they're shooting really well, but they were very much in that game because of the way that they played defense in the second half. And that was less of a, there it is, that's dope, they could do it. It was also like, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah.
How all of a sudden were they creating turnovers and deflecting the ball and stepping into passing lanes, getting some steals? How were they doing that at that level against that team when I don't know that we've seen a stretch like that of defense all year?
Yeah, I'm probably not to that extent for sure, but I mean, they had 19-point leads in San Antonio, Dallas against the Knicks, right? And again, this is not sustained success. They lost 2 of 3 of those games. And last night was especially nice. Denver also 4th game in 5 nights. They're playing a lot of minutes. Like, I get it. They made some mistakes, but they were just active. I thought Damian Jones came in and made an impact. Holiday had those 2 blocks on Bryn Forbes. You had DiVincenzo swatting DeMarcus Cousins, which was nice. And I don't know, maybe part of it is they're starting to learn each other a little more defensively. The communication's gone better. I feel like that's one area where I'm noticing like guys are talking more, which is encouraging. They're still flawed, right? Like I think when you've got like a guy like Trey Lyles out there, although he was able to score a little bit, he's just not a very good defensive player. And you're going to be in some tough situations when you're going up against a Nuggets team that's got Aaron Gordon and Jokic and so many guys out there. So they're still flawed, but I don't know. I am seeing more good moments from it, and it doesn't mean it's all fixed. And Monty's got to. I think that's the biggest challenge, honestly. Look at the offseason is like, how does Monty kind of maneuver all this? Because it's not like the Kings have an abundance of cap space, right? It's like what kind of moves can he make to alter the roster to get the positions? Like it, can they get someone like Kyle Kuzma? I don't know. Would that help? Is that intriguing enough? Could that help the team? Could they, be in on Jeremy Grant? I don't know. I'm just trying to think of guys that could come in and help this team to get more consistent on defense.
Yeah. And to your guys' point, I don't think everything is fixed either. But like I was telling Damian, it just seems like there's more of a pathway to getting where you want to get with this. And it wasn't necessarily a way I look at it, anybody's fault before. It wasn't Tyrese Halliburton's fault before or nothing like that. But the way the roster was constructed and what you had to do, it was like, man, I don't see how you get better here. And just balancing it out a little bit, not to its finished product, but balancing out a little bit where you have the inside out of Fox and Sabonis and Harrison Barnes playing well as well. Now you can kind of construct that roster a little easier, I feel, than how it was before with, Fox and Halliburton, and that's who you thought you were building around.
Yeah, it just seems like an identity can be built around a team player like Domantas Sabonis, right? I think with De'Aaron Fox, the other night when I was talking about him, I wasn't talking about him being a team player, like as big of a team player, but he really is. Like he's been pretty damn good with the way that he's been facilitating the ball lately. We've seen him in the past even, really play with bigs and throw it above the rim. I think he was doing that with Willie Cauley-Stein especially, and he's capable of doing that. And that's why now you have a guy in Sabonis that is even more of a team guy. So you can play through him. And now if it's just going to be the job of Monty McNair to make sure he's putting the right guys around them so they can make De'Aaron Fox better. They can make Sabonis play better. When you have a guy that you can play through like Nikola Jokic or whoever it is, it's so much easier, right? There's so much easier flow. It doesn't matter. It does matter a little bit, but it doesn't matter fully who you put around them because that player is going to demand so many different things on the basketball floor. And I think that can happen with having a guy like Sabonis on the squad.
Now you need some more shooting because the guys that got like Holiday has not shot the ball well here. DiVincenzo has not shot the ball well this year. And even before the season, I think we were talking about like, hey, this team they still don't have a lot of great shooting. And they lost two of their better shooters in Halliburton and Hield. So the spacing just hasn't been there. Mitchell hasn't been consistent at all shooting the ball. So, hopefully you can get some internal growth, but then it's on Monty to get some shooting around these guys.
Yeah, I think that's one of the many frustrating things about this final stretch of the season is we don't get the opportunity to see Terrence Davis with this group. Because I think Terrence Davis would certainly have a role and he would certainly fit some of the things that you were just describing there. But as Kenny and I were talking about earlier, Monty can't Luke Walton Terrence Davis next year and figure out, okay, we're going to try to figure out early if Terrence Davis fits. He pretty much has to know right now, do I need to get a starting two guard or is Terrence Davis it? And I think most of us are of the belief he probably needs to get a starting two guard.
Yeah.
It's just a question of, is the two the priority or the four the priority? Because those are two starting positions right now that really lack.
Big holes. And then all of a sudden you've got Davis, you've got Holiday, and DiVincenzo who can play that spot. So, he's got some tinkering to do. It's not like Monty was like, hey, my work's done here. It's over. Like, it's obvious that this team still needs to do some juggling.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to listen to, I'm sorry, Casey, go ahead.
You're straight. Go ahead.
Did you get a chance to check out Sabonis and Sammy in The Athletic today?
I did read those comments. Yeah.
Did anything stand out to you?
No, it's not a real surprise. Like, basically, if things are going well, they'll probably think about resigning, which I think any person in his position would do. Like,
person would.
That's the thing. Why would you sign? If I were in his shoes and if the Kings were bad while he was here, I'd be like, I'm a free agent. Let me go somewhere else. I'm an all-star level talent. I can go anywhere.
I just thought he came across really well. I don't know what to expect. Like, I didn't know, I'm not necessarily pulling up, Domantas Sabonis Pacers interviews on YouTube. You know what I mean? I'm not locked into Bo Reagan covering the Indiana Pacers on NBC Sports Indiana. Like, I'm not locked in on that. So I don't
love
know.
Bo Reagan.
What was the show in New Orleans?
Bilo and JC.
Oh yeah, Bilo and JC, they get it popping over there for LSU.
It's Trey and Bo in Indiana, I believe is the crew. But I don't really know Sabonis's demeanor, and I was like, he comes across, and I know Sam's, and when you read something, you can envision how Sam is delivering it, and I'm listening, and I'm reading back what he wrote, and it's like, I don't know where my bar was, but I thought Sabonis came across really well, and there's so much talk about leadership and culture and those never ending topics here in Sacramento. I was like, yo, Domas sounds like he could be that guy to me.
Yeah, everything you hear about him is like he's the nicest guy ever, like great teammate. And you just even watching him on the court, I haven't really had a chance to talk to him, but watching how he interacts with teammates, he's first team. I'm gonna slap your butt, give you a high five, like make you feel good, like that. And just those little things. I know it seems like cheesy or whatever, but when a guy's doing that and he's probably your best player, I think that goes a long way.
It does. It goes a long way with anything in life. When you get that love, that affirmation, and especially from your teammate and a teammate that you trust and allows you to lead them, to wins or to just good basketball, of course, you're going to love that from your main guy. And I think he's, from what we've seen, from what we've heard, like it's all real too, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, my instincts are telling me he's actually a good human that cares and has that work ethic, and it isn't that type that's just going to put out a video in the offseason and be like, look at my work. Like, he's going to do the work.
And he got De'Aaron to smile again.
And he got De'Aaron to smile again. I mean, that guy was not smiling, so for that to happen that quickly is pretty nice.
What do you guys think of Damian Jones? Well, just in general, Damian Jones and him possibly coming back. I know a couple of nights ago when we were on Night Chat, I think it was the Spurs game. Maybe it was, I don't know. But I said Damian Jones pitched the perfect game, coming off the bench. And I don't know what kind of suitors he's going to have and opportunities he's going to have in free agency. But I would love to see Damian Jones come back here.
I think he's the perfect big to come off your bench. I mean, even last night, it's hard to be like, hey, man, you did a great job on Jokic because he had 38 and 18 and whatever, 7. But like, he's also probably the front runner for MVP yet again. I thought he battled him. And you think about what he did in the game. I think he ended up with 4 steals in that game. Yeah, he comes in and it's not perfect every night. Like, he gets in foul trouble, but we're talking about a guy who can back up Sabonis. Right. And if Rashawn's not here next year, if the Kings end up moving on and put him in a different situation, then yeah, I would love to bring back Damian Jones. He can come out, switch out in the guys. Sometimes I feel like he defends guards better than he does bigs.
I agree with that. Yeah.
His length is nice. And just offensively as a lob threat, he's always trying to dunk on guys. I like his game.
Yeah, he can move laterally when he does come out on guard, which is really nice.
How about that pass he had to Fox last night?
Yeah, no, his vision, like, he's a smart player, and I appreciate him a lot. I think there's been times where I've talked about this team just needs more rim protection, and at times I'm like, he can be that, but it's not enough because he can get bodied down, right? Like, there's a lot more that goes into his size.
Are you gonna say girth? You're trying not to say girth?
I was gonna say like width. Like, I don't know. Like, what would you say for Damian Jones? I don't know. Like, he's slender, right? And so that at times, there we go. Like, that's totally fine if you're executing all these other things that we are talking about on the floor. I just think one of the other holes could be more actual rim protection from someone else who can play above the rim defensively.
Yeah, and I think another factor will be, where's Queta at this summer? Is he developing like they want him to be in Stockton? He's finally, the one thing I think hurt Queta a little bit was around trade deadline, the few weeks going up to the trade deadline, he was with Sacramento the whole time and he wasn't playing. And I think they had all those guys there just in case there was a trade, if they were shorthanded and maybe he needed to play. Now he's back in Stockton, he's playing, and tonight he gets a good chance to go up against James Wiseman, making his debut in the G League today. So that should be fun. But Yeah, I mean, how's Queta developed? He's shown some nice signs in the G League. He's starting to, get back into game shape. He was sitting on the bench in Sacramento for a minute, but maybe if his development is going ahead of schedule, or if it's reached, maybe he's the guy because he can protect the rim. You can
Body
give him the ball at
size
the
is
elbow.
great.
You could pass the
Yeah.
ball. Might not be a bad option.
Yeah.
You think he's an NBA player?
Go ahead.
What?
No, I mean, I think there's potential. I don't know. It's so hard to say. Like, he hasn't played enough in the G League either.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like,
But when he has, though, he's been really good, though, right?
Yeah, he gets in foul trouble. Like last game, he fouled out in 24 minutes, but he was like 9 of 13. And
so he's Domantas Sabonis, is what you're saying.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
There's so many like flaws in his game because he is on that younger side of things, right? Because he's newer into the league and everything. And I think what we've seen, though, from when he started in summer league to now, in the growth and the jump and the leap that he's taken, just even with his footwork, has been so fun to see. So I believe that he has the ability and the work ethic to keep taking those leaps. It's such a different game in the NBA, and we all know this. So that's why, what will it be like if he does need to play big NBA minutes?
But he may, with Sabonis, you're probably not going to ask him to play a ton of minutes anyway. And if he can come off your bench, just be a big body, block some shots. I mean, his shot blocking ability is legit.
Yes,
he
it is.
did at a high level in college. So, I mean, maybe that's an option too.
Boogie Cousins came back to Sacramento last night. Were you expecting the mini embrace and short conversation with him and Vivek? That stood out to me.
Yeah, I did see that. I don't know what the relationship is like. I mean, obviously they must be in a good spot. I did see that before the game where Vivek went up to him and they looked like they were smiling and talking. And maybe it's just like, hey, it's been 5 years now. It's a little easier. Our breakup's done. Cousins has been through so much.
And I always just think of someone like Michael Malone communicating with him behind closed doors and saying things like, look, this is the way that you might want to handle this, or this is the way that, look at it when we go into Sacramento today. This is how you want to maybe handle yourself on the floor and do things. And I just think he's just a great mentor and coach for DeMarcus Cousins. So maybe he got to him a little bit too.
Michael Malone should listen to himself.
I know. You know what? Malone, he was asked, Jason Anderson asked him about it. He goes, I'm not going to comment on that, but what I can tell you is I really like the leadership in Denver. They were patient with me, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Understandably so. He is taking every opportunity to rub it in Sacramento.
You know what, though? I love it.
But
I have a chip on my shoulder from when KHTK fired us on April 1st, 2016. Ooh. I still think about that. I talked to you the other night when I had an agent, September 29th, 2020, go, hey, I think you plateaued and maybe you should give it another year and maybe try something else. I keep that stuff
Light
with me.
The fire, baby.
And I think Malone's kind of the same guy. Way. He just has that competitiveness about him. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to forget that. Yeah, I was here a year and a half. I thought we had something. They let me go, and look at what I've done in Denver.
And, he tries to remain professional about it. And, and at the end of the day, if some pettiness comes out or just some talk where it sounds like he is motivated and he wants to direct the conversation in other ways, I'm like, I dig it. I dig it.
Yeah. The one thing I don't understand is I take that back. I understand it. It's just not what I do. But how some Kings fans, they're like, yeah, Malone, beat us every time. I hope DeMarcus drops 50 and 20.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, no, I want to see him. No. We don't need to get even further embarrassed by every time he plays us or every time they go up against us, he backhands us. Let's calm down on that.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I can be a Malone fan, but I don't have to root for him to kick our ass every time,
And I just am so against pettiness. I think it's awful. But
I could be so petty. You know this, Damian.
Oh yeah, I can't relate at all. I've never been petty LaBelle a day in my life. But everybody's got their Twitter fingers ready for what is it, March 24th? It's 2 weeks from tonight.
Oh, Tyrese.
Oh, everybody is ready.
Double Tyrese.
Pacers. Oh yeah.
This is
everybody's ready.
How I love Tyrese Halliburton. I love Tyrese, but I'm sorry. I hope that night He goes 0 for 15, 7 turnovers. I hope Buddy is just airballing it 8 times, getting booed off the floor. I'm sorry. We can like the guy and hope he does well, wish him well. We don't need to be cheering him on.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to it at all. In fact, what I'm worried about is like, one, if the Kings go in there and like Halliburton has a massive night and like Kings lose by 15, a part of me is like, I hope Gentry's like, you know what? This is when we shut it down for the rest of the year. Let's go ahead and sit our guys. Let them go have their fun. We're playing Josh Jackson 35 minutes. Trey Lyles, we're feeding you the whole game. Just let them have their fun.
So, okay. So in all seriousness, what do you think happens the next, I mean, it's 2 weeks, this stretch of basketball against the Jazz and, you know, the Celtics are in there, the Bucks, the Bulls, the Suns. I think it ends with the Pacers aren't on that level, but that's certainly a game everybody's going to be locked into. Like, what do you think the next 2 weeks looks like?
It's a tough schedule coming up. I just imagine they'll probably get through this stretch and let's just see what's it looking like. Are they competing against some of these tough teams? I mean, you got Boston on the schedule. You've got Milwaukee, Phoenix. It's pretty rough ahead.
Yeah.
But I think it's important for Sabonis and Fox to continue to kind of build that chemistry together. So, you know, if you want to take the last 3, 4, 5 games and kind of like, all right, we're going to kind of knock their minutes down and maybe not play in the last couple, I'm cool with that. But I just, let's see what it looks like. I know some people were, you got to take lottery balls. It's like, yeah, you know, they've lost 8 of 10 with these guys. Okay. The schedule is really daunting ahead. You're probably not gonna have to worry about it.
You know, Deuce and I keep calling it the extended training camp, right? Yeah. And I want them to look at it like that, where it's that fresh energy of a training camp. You know, everything's good in a training camp every year for every team, but I want that fresh, energized positivity on the floor while you're trying to build certain things. So then when you do start training camp, you've already built in a little bit. Now, what else can you tweak in training camp? Because this team, this roster, this organization needs all the time they can get before the next season to do things right and make sure that they, you know, build on for some success next year.
Yeah, I agree. You guys happy baseball's back?
Nah.
I mean, it's cool. I mean,
wow, Deuce.
Kenny, let's be honest how baseball works. It's spring training's here. Let's go. You watch a spring training game and then you forget about it because it's long. And then opening days here. Yeah, let's go. And then you're like, oh my God, we still have 161 of these. Like, it's a long season. To me, baseball can be the soundtrack of the summer, right? You're driving around, maybe throw a game on, or it's nice to just have a game on in the background, but I'm just not locked in like that anymore. I'm sorry.
Now there's a couple things going on here. Number one, I actually hate spring training. Like I think it feels like it's gotten longer as the years have gone on. So
right.
Why do we need 5 weeks of meaningless baseball? Like I kind of hate spring training. I'm not nostalgic about that. But opening day, you can learn a lot. Yeah. I told you last year, Damian contested this. Last year, when the Giants lost their first game of the season, I said, they will not have a worse loss all year than what we saw in CSN.
He did
That's
that.
What happened?
He was devastated. Yeah, it's facts. He did do that.
Not dramatic at all, Kenny.
No.
It was true.
Kenny needed a Snickers.
4-0, 5-0 in the 8th inning.
There wasn't a worse loss all season long.
There wasn't. We checked back in. There was a couple that were close.
I don't even believe you because you probably didn't even watch all the games.
I absolutely watched. I was locked in.
Giants-Dodgers series wasn't always fun in that series.
Well, it really is. Like Morgan doesn't believe it. It's pretty crazy that Kenny has like a fiance and a child, like because he will watch.
Oh my God.
if it's on ESPN 17, he's going to find it and watch it.
That is interesting, Kenny.
The thing that worked for me is they go to sleep at like 9:30 every night. So that's when it's time for me to play.
I just realized we're not gonna. The next time we'll talk to you, the season will be over.
Oh my God! Yes.
Yeah. You don't understand. Like selfishly, I'm so ready for the season to be over.
Same.
You guys have busted your ass. You guys are too, but you guys have not Right, you haven't missed a night chat, right?
I know, and until this Saturday, we're missing one actually, because I'm going to a bachelor party in Oatman, Arizona.
Where?
Yeah, exactly. No one. It's long story.
Route 66.
A long story. Yeah, we are missing this Saturday's night chat. Morgan was going to do it solo, and it was like, yeah, but then she's going to be in San Francisco
For
and you'd be
NBC, and then
back at midnight, and it's like, no.
What's the point at this point in the King season to push myself to do an 11 p.m. night chat? And I don't know. I just thought it was like work smarter, not harder. So we're gonna make up for it though next week.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be insane.
Sacramento. Stop playing. This is getting ridiculous.
And that's very, very true. By the way, 81 out of 82 is still pretty. That's pretty amazing. That's especially considering you're on the Stockton Kings call. And by the way, slow clap for locking in the relationship with the photographer and getting those candid shots of Deuce and Mo. Of course, that is solid Instagram work right there.
That's our guy E, man. He's the best. He's actually
so sweet.
It's actually Tyrese's close friend.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be here much longer, but he's still out there. He does some great work.
Befriend photographers.
Yeah.
He's
absolutely.
Hey, we didn't ask him to do it.
You know
He's
what's
just-
funny?
that's what
I
he
saw
does.
his work, and one time he had taken a photo of me with NBC, and I was like, "Where are you taking these photos?" And then finally I met him, and then he was like telling me about his relationship with Tyrese. I was like, "This is cool." And then I really got to know him, and he's one of the nicest, coolest guys. Like, of course, Tyrese Halliburton surrounds himself with just great humans. I've met other players' friends before, and it's not like this.
Sorry,
And
I've moved on to the real number 0, and that is Dante DiVincenzo. I don't need to
you're
hear
such
about
an ass.
why are we bringing
The
up old
real
stuff?
number 0.
That's off-white.
Off-white, baby.
Off-white right there. Yes, indeed. I think the next shirt for D'Lo and KC, or perhaps this should be deuceandmo.com, is be a good human. That and just put like be a good human, and make sure it's like quoted Morgan Reagan. Like that's solid material right there.
And I say that, and I always say that to people, like, be a good human, be kind to others. And then whenever someone is like doing something to me and I go back at them, they're like, I thought you said be kind to others. And I'm like, no, so be kind to others. Someone F's with you, you F with them. Like,
that's big facts.
Thank you.
I try to be good and kind to people, and then an Aaron Rodgers story drops, and or Kenny sends me something he saw from a Sacramento media member on social media, and I lose it.
Or John does.
Or John does. John does too,
God.
indeed. That's Deuce and Mo, the Deuce and Mo's podcast. That's television's Deuce Mason and Morgan Reagan. Thank you guys, as always.